Basketball is not just a sport, it's a game filled with moments where legacies are created, heart-stopping moments. And in the NBA, there are certain men that have been able to create such moments when time literally stopped. Today we're going to be diving into 10 of these unforgettable moments, focusing on shots that shaped the NBA. Let's relive them. Derek Fisher's 0.4-second miracle. First up is Derek Fisher's buzzer beater in 2004. In the Western Conference Semifinals with the stakes high, the Lakers were staring at defeat against the Spurs in San Antonio. The Lakers had less than half a second to turn things around against the Spurs at AT&T Center, San Antonio, Texas. Tim Duncan had just hit a nearly impossible shot, leaving the Lakers with no room for error. When Fisher caught the ball and released it, it felt like a movie scene. Fans in San Antonio froze as the ball dropped through the hoop. People still argue that the clock started late, but honestly, whether it was perfect timing or a little luck, Fisher's shot was one of the fastest ever, and no one can deny how incredible that moment was. It was the kind of play that reminded everyone why they watch basketball. Analysts pointed out how perfect Fisher had to be to get that shot. It wasn't just the shot, but the situation. There was literally no room for error with just 0.4 seconds on the clock. It was one of the fastest releases ever seen in NBA history. Moments like this define legacies and show why basketball is so exciting. Kawhi Leonards Game 7 buzzer beater. In 2019, Kawhi Leonard gave Toronto a moment that felt like destiny. With 4 seconds left in Game 7 against the Sixers, he ran to the baseline at Scotiabank Arena, Toronto, Ontario, and launched the ball over Joel Embiid. It hung in the air forever before bouncing 4 times on the rim and finally dropping in. The sound of the crowd exploding still haunts most Sixer fans today. For Raptors fans, it was pure joy. Embiid's tears on the sidelines said it all. The shot wasn't just about winning, it was about the raw emotions that make the game unforgettable. Analysts pointed out Kawhi's calmness and the difficulty of the angle, especially with Joel Embiid defending. Kawhi's form was perfect. His release was high and quick to avoid the block. But it was his patience, seen in his ability to take the shot despite the tight defense, that really stood out. The shot wasn't just about winning the game, it was a game changer for the Raptors and a moment of true basketball drama. Michael Jordan's The Shot. Michael Jordan's shot against Craig Ehlo in 1989 wasn't just a game winner, it became one of the most famous moments in basketball, an unforgettable event in the history of basketball. The game took place at Richfield Coliseum, Richfield, Ohio. The Bulls were down by 1, and everyone knew where the ball was going. When Jordan jumped, it looked like he hung in the air just a little longer than Ehlo could manage. The jump, the hang time, completely defied the laws of physics itself, or so it appeared to be. The ball went in, and Jordan's leap into the air became iconic. The jump was executed with such poise that it cemented Jordan's reputation as the most clutch player in the history of basketball. For Cavs fans, it was gut-wrenching, but for everyone else, it was the start of Jordan becoming a legend. They still argue whether Ehlo or the defense tactics could have been better, but one thing that was concluded by most people was that Jordan could not have been stopped. Damian Lillard's 37-foot dagger. Damian Lillard doesn't just make deep shots, he owns them. Something many other players would avoid because of the level of risk it entails, especially as it was just before the final buzzer. In 2019, during a playoff game against the Thunder at Moda Center, Portland, Oregon, he made the crowd go crazy. With time almost ending, he calmly stepped back to nearly half court and fired. The ball swished, and Lillard waved goodbye to the Thunder. It wasn't just the shot that made the moment, it was the look on his face, calm, confident, like he knew it was going in. That made it more than just a game winner, it was a declaration of greatness. The Blazers fans tagged that move one of the most iconic moments in the franchise's history. No other statement could have better termed that honestly. However, Paul George later called it a bad shot. Even critics couldn't deny the brilliant execution and sheer audacity. This didn't just serve as a game winner, but it also caused a complete change of events in the NBA, as it led to the evolution of the NBA towards embracing longer-range shots as a critical part of the game. For Damian, it signified a level up in his career, moving him from being a star to a legend. Ray Allen's corner 3. Ray Allen's three-pointer in the 2013 finals was the definition of clutch. At American Airlines Arena in Miami, Florida, the Heat were seconds away from losing to the Spurs. Chris Bosh grabbed a rebound and kicked it to Allen in the corner. Quick thinking that was not without its own expertise. Allen didn't hesitate. He stepped back, planting both his feet behind the line without looking back, a clear proof of his spatial awareness and devotion to practice. Quickly releasing the ball, leaving no room for defenders to close out, he was sure the shot was as accurate as it was timely. It tied the game and sent it to overtime, where Miami eventually won. The shot didn't just tie the game, it caused a complete turn of events for the Heat in the series as they were about to lose the game. For Heat fans, it was like a miracle. For Spurs fans, it was a missed chance they'd replay in their heads forever. For Ray, it was a defining moment in his career, and for his team in the championship as they went forward to win the championship later on. Steph Curry's 38-foot buzzer beater. When Steph Curry hit his 38-foot shot in 2016, although it was extremely impressive and awe-inspiring, it wasn't surprising. It was classic Curry. Against the Thunder at Paycom Center, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, he crossed half court in overtime, stopped, and let it fly. The high arc of the curve ensured it dropped cleanly into the net without any interference from the defenders. The ball didn't even touch the rim. His ability to maintain control and balance even while shooting from such a distance says a lot about what we see as his core strength and technique. Fans in the arena couldn't believe it. To Thunder fans, it hit like a dagger in the chest. But for Warriors fans, it was just another reminder of Curry's magic, a sign of his limitless talent. Neutral fans couldn't help but be amazed by the brilliance of his play. Shots like this are why he's considered one of the best shooters ever. Larry Bird's behind the backboard shot. Larry Bird's shot over the backboard in 1986 was so creative and unbelievable. Playing against the Rockets at the Summit in Houston, Texas, Bird was trapped on the baseline with nowhere to go. But instead of panicking, he leaned out of bounds and flipped the ball over the backboard. It dropped in like it was planned. The audacity with which he took the shot, the angle, the accuracy of the shot, it was truly something that left even seasoned basketball experts shaking their heads in disbelief. No one would have expected Bird to take such a shot. Moments like this are what cemented the idea that fans have agreed with that Bird is a genius on the court because in this moment, it was not just about scoring points, it was largely about being able to make use of the tightest of situations. The shot captured Bird's creativity on the court and reminded players and fans alike why he's regarded as one of the greatest players in NBA history. Vince Carter's reverse 360 layup. Vince Carter's reverse 360 layup in 2005 was pure athleticism and creativity, involving incredible body control and spatial awareness against the Pacers at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Indianapolis, Indiana. He spun midair and finished a layup that seemed impossible. Quote, "This was not just a move, it was a statement of unmatched physical gifts," a commentator testified. It went beyond a play for points. It was a testament to Vince redefining what could be possible inside the basketball court. It wasn't a game winner or a buzzer beater, but it was jaw-dropping. Even opponent fans had no choice but to applaud his incredible skill, with some attesting that he was one of the most electrifying players they had ever seen. Carter had a way of making the spectacular look effortless, and this play was no exception. It even caused a buzz all over social media as it reinforced his reputation as a high-flying basketball icon. By 2005, Vince Carter had already taken up his place as one of the NBA's most extraordinary players. LeBron James's falling three-pointer. LeBron James's three-pointer against the Pacers in 2018 was all about determination, especially as it was done under pressure. At Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, Cleveland, Ohio, with seconds left in a tied game, he leaned, shot, and scored despite the crowd of defenders that circled around him. Quote, "LeBron defies physics," one analyst remarked. To have balance, focus, and strength to make that shot is something only very few players in history can do, another remarked. It wasn't just a shot, it was a statement. Cavaliers fans called it a kingly moment, further cementing that name, King James. For the Pacers fans, well, it was a heartbreaking moment, especially as they could not deny there was no way the defense could have prevented that shot. Moments like this are why LeBron is in the conversation for the greatest player ever. The 2018 playoff season was a defining time in LeBron's career as he basically carried the Cavaliers on his back for their quest for another championship run. His falling three-pointer is a great example of why he's always mentioned in the GOAT debate of basketball. He created a moment that basketball would never forget. Tracy McGradys' 13 points in 35 seconds. Tracy McGradys' 13 points in 35 seconds against the Spurs in 2004 is still one of the most shocking comebacks in basketball. How he took over the game, his focus, precision, and ability to stay calm under pressure left analysts in a marvelous state. At Toyota Center, Houston, Texas, McGrady couldn't miss. Elite shooting, quick decision-making, unwavering confidence, that was what his performance embodied. Quote, "He was in the zone. There was no defense, no strategy that could have stopped him in that moment," said a commentator. His final shot, a contested three, left the Spurs stunned and the crowd roaring. For Rocket fans, their joy couldn't have been better explained. The Spurs fans, however, were left in utter disbelief as to how a game they were clearly winning turned around in just 35 seconds. Tracy McGrady's 35-second scoring marathon is the perfect example of never give up in sports. It showed determination and refusal to quit. It was so nice that we could relive such moments. But which of the shots do you think should be the best? Let me know in the comments section. And don't forget to click that like button and subscribe for more.